up. Kind of walk me through some of those first couple years, success, struggles, what was kind of that ride like?
Well, the success part of it would be a very quick conversation. So there was success was very limited. My first house that I sold was to one of my employees and his girlfriend. They were buying their first house together. They were expecting a baby, and they bought a house. It was a $57,000 house. It was my first transaction. I had no clue what I was doing. I was faxing stuff, running over to her house and signing it in person. I had no idea. And I didn't ask for help because one, I didn't know who to ask. I was just kind of clueless. So, and then and that was May of 2014. So when I started, it was at the end of 2013. I didn't have any business. There was nothing.
Yeah.
And then my wife and I found out that our third child was on the way. So we have 3 daughters. So our third daughter was coming, and we're like, we need a bigger house. Market was kind of picking up a little bit, and my other 2 transactions for that year were selling my house and buying a new one. So, and at that point, when you start making a little bit of money on it, it's so much more than you're making at your regular job. You're just
right.
You're like, I have to figure out a way to do this. So for 2014, just plugged away. I did it part-time. I maybe sold, a couple more houses. And then at the beginning of 2015, I was just like, I got to put more effort into this. This is what I want to do. So I started getting a little busier, had a couple listings. I saved up like all the commission I made. So come April, I was at a point where I could quit my job and start selling real estate full time. And if I didn't make $1 for like 3 or 4 months, we were going to be okay. My wife worked full time; she has a good job, so we were going to be fine. So in May of 2015, I was like, I'm going all in, and I put in my 2 weeks and switched to a different brokerage where I thought was a little bit of a better fit at the time, and I went full time and really haven't looked back since.
Was that because I help with agents just from our team and other agents that I help. I like helping newer agents. It's kind of my mission and my passion of this industry is really kind of helping new agents get into it. So that transition process I'm pretty familiar with. Agents coming from a different career and trying to figure it out and navigate those waters. What for you? And I always say everyone's different. Some agents jump in and they're like 2 feet in. 3 weeks later, they're quitting their other job and they're going to figure it out. For you, what was that comfort zone about 3 months of payments and things like that to allow you to make that leap?
I would say like if I were a young single guy and didn't have anybody else dependent on me, like I probably would have jumped in a lot quicker. Sure. And I just wanted to make sure that anybody that was counting on me, I wasn't going to let down. So that was why I wanted to have some sort of reserves, and it gave me a better opportunity where I guess there was less pressure too when you had that comfort zone that you're going to be like, hey, I got some stuff to fall back on. Doesn't work out, we'll figure it out.
Sure. And where did you kind of get to those first handful of deals? Obviously the beginning was one employee, and then yourself, and then you're starting to kind of get some of that momentum in your business. What were you focusing on to really allow you to kind of get those listings and then really say, hey, I'm in a good spot, let's just go all in?
I had another sale from another employee, somebody on my bar staff. Him and his wife needed a place, so that was one. And then I started working a couple open houses. I picked up, which at the time, like I was very lucky. I worked this open house. A friend of mine let me work. It was out in Blacklick or Pataskala or something. And this couple came in there and they were looking for homes, and that wasn't the right one for them. But I ended up helping them find a $550,000 home in New Albany and listing their house. And like at the time, like that money that I made off that sale in New Albany, I was like, holy smokes. And that's 2015. So that's a long time ago. So that was pretty high up there in the market then.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So 2015, you're going all in. You said May, right?
Yep.
Going all in. Kind of lead me up to those next couple of years. What was your business like? What did you focus on, to be able to build that business? Um, kind of talk to me about that.
As I got into it, I went full time. The things I was doing to get business a little different than what I was doing. I was calling a lot of for sale by owners, calling on expireds, working the open houses. Luckily I had a pretty good referral network going just from the amount of time I've been in Columbus and the people that I've known from my previous career. So I was able to build upon that, and it just each year started getting a little better. 2015, I probably had like 10 sales or something like that. And then, the next year it crept up a little bit to like 14. And then it just progressed from there. Like a lot of agents, each year just gets a little bit better than the year before.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's awesome. I think, making that decision to kind of go all in, at that time in 2015, just, I always talk about agents, just think about, instead of you clocking in and clocking out for 8 hours over here, imagine if you were able to just take that just one day, clock in 8 hours just in your real estate business,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll start seeing that, that momentum. You don't necessarily need to see sales, right? It's a lot of it's, I need to see the momentum coming. I need to see more conversations and more people added to my pipeline, and then they turn into clients and so forth. So lead me
Yep.
up to kind of current day. How's business been over the last couple of years? What have you been focusing on?
So business, I mean, every year it keeps on getting better. Around 2000, well, to backtrack a little bit, like in 2014, before I went full time, I almost quit real estate because I was like, I'm not going to be able I'm not going to be able to hack this. And there was one manager I had that talked to me. His name was Arnold DeSena, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and he's like Zach, he's like, you got all the tools. He's like, just put in the time, and I needed to hear that to get the confidence from someone.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for like hearing those words, I probably wouldn't have continued. But having somebody like that give me the confidence to move forward and to put the effort in, that made the difference. And I think about that still to this day, and it made a huge difference. And that's where I look at like my career today. Like I know it wouldn't have happened without someone like that. And then another person was Newton Burse. I met Newton like totally by chance. I was at a Subway wearing a brokerage shirt from the company I was with before, Coldwell Banker. And this guy came up to me, and I recognized him from somewhere, and I didn't know who it was. And it was Obie Stillwell. And
Yep.
he just switched to Coldwell Banker, and he started talking to me, and he's like, you should really talk to my manager. I was like, nah, I'm not interested. I just switched brokerages not too long ago. I'm not really looking for that. And he's like, look, you don't know what you don't know. And so the next day my phone rings, and it's this guy named Newton Burse, and he's trying to get me to have lunch with him. And I first told him no. And then I was like, all right, I'll go have lunch with you. Had lunch to him, had lunch with him, listened to him, enjoyed our conversation. And I was like, I walked out. I was like, yeah, that's it. I'm not going to switch. And I told him that I wasn't interested. And this guy just kept on bothering me. Like every couple of weeks, he's shooting me a message, giving me a call. And eventually he's like, hey, why don't you stop into the office? I want you to talk to myself and our broker on record, Jerry White. And I was like, no, I'm not interested in that. And he's like, come on, you'll like what we have here. I was like, all right. So I set up a meeting with him, and I no-showed. And I forgot all about it. I had some stuff going on. I no-showed. So he calls me back, and he's like, hey, I missed you today. He's like, why don't you come in tomorrow? So I came in the next day and listened to him. I sat there for like an hour and listened to him and Jerry White. And I realized then that like I didn't know what, like Obie said, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that what I was doing was pretty good, and I didn't realize the potential that was ahead of me and what the things that were possible.
Yeah.
So sitting with Newton and all the tools that he had to offer and all the support, and he told me, like, the last thing he said to me when I was leaving that meeting, he said, Zach, if you come over here, I'm going to give you every tool in the world to succeed. If you don't, it's on you. And I was like, you know what? I need to take advantage of this. And so when I came over here, I put those tools to use and built more relationships. In the business, the longer you're in the business, the more referrals you get.
Yeah.
You do a good job for somebody, you're gonna be on the top of their mind when something happens. So it's real easy for them to pass your info on, and that's now my business. I'd say it's probably 60% referral based from previous clients or people in my sphere. So it just,
No, that's awesome.
you just got to keep plugging away and it gets better.
No, that's awesome. It's one of those things. I was just talking to a good friend of mine, Leah Ackerman. Leah probably from Cutler Real Estate, and having those right mentors, in your circle, allow you to compress the time it takes to really find that success. I just did a training the other day, and it's the 6 principles of the 6 secrets of success, right? And it's 6 principles, and one of them is modeling success, right? Like, what works for you will work for me. What works for me will work for you. Like, why try to invent the wheel? Why try to redo it when I can just take something from over here and take it and apply it to my business? I may have to tweak some things here and there, right? And that's why I'm a big believer in always going to trainings, small events, big events, conferences, whatever the case may be, because you just never know who you're going to run into, and what's working in Orlando or Texas or Oregon. I can bring it back here, and I don't have to reinvent it or invent it. I just got to copy it and bring it in and put it in place. And having those mentors are huge.
Absolutely. And sometimes you just need a little bit of confidence too.
Yeah.
There's the old saying, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. I know I'm quick to tell that to my kids, and it's true. So sometimes just a little bit of confidence will help give you the motivation to get out there and do that stuff.
And if you don't have the confidence, find someone that will help give you that confidence, right? I tell agents all the time, especially brand new agents, I feel like a lot of the reasons why newer agents fail is because they don't have the opportunities to do real estate activities on a consistent basis, because they just don't know what they don't know, right? They don't know how to go out and attract clients and things like that. And so if you're listening in and your business is inconsistent, or you're just getting off the ground, like, find someone to go and model their business, whether it's a top agent in your brokerage, whether it's a broker, a coach, a mentor, whoever it is, and go just see what they're doing and sacrifice your time to help them out, because modeling success will help you compress the time it takes to find your success.
Yeah, and people want to help too. The help's always there. Like, if you want help, or you want someone to teach you and like show you things, you're not like, you don't have to look far. People in this business, I think, want to help each other.
Yeah. And there's those ones that don't, and you'll quickly know who those are, and that's fine. But I think the majority of people understand exactly what you're going through, right? Those struggles, right? Hey, I know what it was like, not knowing how to do a contract, so I'll give you, 30 minutes of my time to walk you through it. Or I know what it was like to, not really know how to do a listing appointment, so let me show you, right? And, that collaboration, that community is so important in our business, I think. And that's one of my missions, right? Is just keep continuing to put that type of message out.